talk to them until they can hear me? Guys, can y'all hear me? Hey, Alyssa? Yeah. Do you want me to toss back out to them when I'm done? Yeah. Okay. Also, I can't hear. Am I supposed to be able to hear them right now? Because I cannot hear anything. I won't be able to hear them? Okay.
Well, the plan is for you to hear them.
Yeah, I can't hear them in my IFB.
Right, I don't think they fully, well, they dialed in, you just hadn't powered up the they will be in.
It's not blinking.
You don't have it over there. You don't have it.
What? I need to talk to them.
We have live views. I don't know why you have live views.
There we go. IFB4.
So maybe that's it. It's live view 4. So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I don't want to meet it.
We should be able to hear something even if he doesn't have the mic.
That's what I thought.
Wait, say that again, Alyssa. Say that again.
We should be able to hear something even if he doesn't have the mic.
No, I'm cutting the audio right here.
He found.
Marquez.
We can't hear anything.
We don't hear anything from my people.
You can hear him over there?
This is what happened last time.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
We can't hear you.
We can't. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but we cannot hear y'all. You hear 'em, Melissa?
Talk to him.
I can't hear them.
I can hear you. Can I get a mic check? Check. Do you hear them?
No.
I don't either.
I think that's our meter out right there.
Yeah, they need to see it. Oh, okay.
Good morning. Friday morning.
It is Friday, yes. We are really excited because this is a special edition of Ksat News Now on the road.
Yeah, you're usually used to the latest news, latest headlines, but today it's all about Dia de Muertos because we start with the celebration is actually next week, but the celebrations in San Antonio are already in full swing with preparations and for one of the largest celebrations in the nation, which is Muertos Fest.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said it, Alicia. I mean, in full swing here. People are setting up their ofrendas, their altars, a lot of different things going on here at Hemisphere Park as we get ready for the Dia de los Muertos at Hemisphere, or Muertos Fest, happening tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of excitement and a lot of buzz here in the heart of downtown.
Absolutely, because you're talking vendors. I mean, if you need your flower crown still for Dia de Muertos, accessories, anything dealing with that, you can get that here. We'll obviously be hosting as well for Ksat, and that will air on Sunday. And then you have the ofrendas, which that is the star of this festival of Muertos Fest, and family members honoring their loved ones who has passed, but also even just these iconic people in our community and in.
Absolutely. And as you just mentioned there, 80 altars are expected to be put up here. So, I mean, it's going to be beautiful, bright, very colorful. And as you mentioned just right there, I mean, honoring our loved ones that have passed on. But remember, this holiday, of course, honoring those people that have passed on. And this event has a lot of unique things also in store. A lot of live music's going to be going on here, so it's just a lot of things going on here at Muertos Fest.
Right. So with the music lineup, you can expect a lot of entertainment, and each act was handpicked to represent the culture and history of the holiday. Later in the show, we'll introduce you to Los Nahuatlatos.
Absolutely, a great local band there. So we sat down with them to learn the meaning behind their indigenous name and why this weekend's performance is not just a gig, but actually a ceremony. I love the way that they approach this sort of aspect of it.
And another local band is reaching new heights. The Last Bandoleros are returning home for a special Dia de los Muertos concert, and it's happening tonight.
And we sat down with them. Well, actually, Alicia did.
I did.
Get an opportunity to sit down with them, and we'll get a sneak peek of their song Vamos a Bailar, which is already a chart topper, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In Muertos Fest, we talked about the vendors, dozens of vendors here. We caught up with one up-and-coming jewelry designer who says her handmade items are reconnecting people to their Hispanic heritage, Latino heritage, her included. She actually mentioned to me that when she went to college, she felt like she was a little disconnected. So her craft has really been able to help her reconnect with her roots. So how beautiful is that?
All right, love to hear that. But we also, before we get to all of that, want to get to our weather, because we saw some storms roll through the area this morning, and it's feeling a little chilly. I mean, you got your coat on there?
Yeah, and humidity is killing us out here.
There we go. So Mia Montgomery is hanging out for us back at the station. Mia, how are things going to be looking for Muertos Fest and for the rest of our weekend ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. We are drying things out across San Antonio, which is the good news there after we did find some needed rainfall push across the area this morning. Not at the most convenient of times, though. It was during the morning commute, was a little messy and soggy out there, but that was all thanks to our next cold front that continues to push across south central Texas. You can see we still do have the cloud cover in place across the central reaches of the area here in San Antonio as well. What's left of that line continues to push across our far eastern counties here late this morning. Hallettsville still checking in, getting some of that rain, reaching back over to Victoria. That will continue to push eastward across the Highway 77 corridor and then push off closer to the Houston area, as well as the Brazos Valley as we head into the early portions of this afternoon, which means we are seeing a drying trend to take place here in our neck of the woods, but not before picking up on, again, some much needed rain. These were taken at about 10:30 here this morning over at the airport officially. Over 3/10 of an inch, over half of an inch over in Uvalde, about 3/10 of an inch as well over in Kerrville up in the hill country. Now, I mentioned that we still do have some of those clouds in place here in the San Antonio metro area, but take a look across the western reaches of our region. You see that we have more sunshine taking back over, and I think that trend is going to inch farther eastward as we head into this afternoon. So we start to see some of those clouds break up, and really depending on how quickly that cloud cover can break up, that is going to determine just how high those temperatures are able to climb this afternoon. Right now, low 70s here in San Antonio, certainly possible. We'll keep eyes on that. Again, more sunshine, more peaks of sunshine into this afternoon as well. Now, something that you definitely need to know if you're stepping out for any Friday evening plans, it is likely going to be pretty breezy out there. We've already seen some wind gusts upwards of about 30 miles per hour, even 45 miles per hour. Currently, that wind is gusting out of the northwest over in Del Rio. I think some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible closer to the Rio Grande throughout the afternoon and into the evening. So because of that, the National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for those counties in tan running through 7 p.m. And then just quickly, as we take a look here at your weekend forecast, we are drying things out. That front moving through, we see that breezy northwest wind kick up. That likely will stick with us for our Saturday as well. So also some high fire danger concerns could be in the works across parts of our area today and into tomorrow. We see the humidity levels drop over the next 24 hours as well, allowing those temperatures to cool down into the overnight hours. So we've got some chilly mornings on tap here over the next couple of days, and then your afternoons are looking pretty nice. Tomorrow we'll aim to climb into the low 70s here in San Antonio, and then warming things up a little bit more into our Sunday. So of course we'll keep you updated on all of the weather from Muertos Fest throughout the remainder of the day today, on air, online, and of course your Ksat Weather Authority app. Tune in then, and of course until then we'll send things back out to you guys.
Thank you, Mia. And with Muertos Fest, we've already talked about it, lots going on. This is actually the 10th anniversary. I remember coming out to this festival during my time in college at Our Lady of Lake University. But it's grown so much, and it's done so well that National Geographic has actually named it one of the 7 best fall festivals. How cool is that? And to have it here at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to believe that it's been 10 years, a full decade that has passed. You know what? I've never been to Muertos Fest. I know, but this is the time to definitely do it out here, as we're going to be a big part of this weekend celebration. And also a big part of this weekend celebration is Jim Mendiola. He is the artistic director for Muertos Fest. Thank you very much for being with us, Jim. How you doing this morning?
Busy. Yeah. Slept in late though. My work is done. The best part is they're building everything now.
Okay.
They're constructing it.
So over the last decade, 10 years, I mean, it's hard to imagine, but how has it evolved? How has it changed, and what makes it so unique to here to San Antonio?
It's gotten bigger. More people know about it. What's unique is that the stories are all San Antonio. We have 75 altars. That's my favorite part is each altar is a different story from someone in town who's lost someone or remembers someone or wants to honor that. So that's always remained fundamental. But what we've seen over the years is people who have not grown up with the tradition come year 1, year 2, see an altar, respond to it because it speaks to them, and they come back the next year and make their own. So we've had a lot of stories where people who had no experience before have come back with amazing altars and do that year after year, and it kind of keeps growing exponentially with that process.
Yeah, I think with that, it's also because we've all lost someone, right? And so we all want to honor the memory of our loved ones, and what better way to do it in this tangible, community-centered way. How many did y'all start with back 10 years ago?
I think we used to be at La Villita, but in 2018 we had 65,000 people, so we were getting too big for there. Wow. So we came to Hemisphere. Last year we had 125,000 people. Wow. It always remains free. That's a really important part of what we want to do. But we had, I think there was like 25 altars at that time, but it's since gotten bigger.
So we talk about the ofrendas that are going to be here, and obviously this is also a celebration of death and life and remembering our loved ones. So what other things are going to be going on here that people can look forward to? If, like I just said myself, never been, feel kind of bad about saying that, but what are some other things that people can look forward to when they head out?
Like any celebration, like any Latino celebration, we have music, food,
love it,
and community. So that's in a broad sense, but specifically, I think we have like 30 bands this year. We're headlining with Los Lobos. Azul is playing, Santiago Jimenez Jr. So we really run the gamut from traditional conjunto to, a great American rock band like Los Lobos to, there's a woman named Maria Angela. You should check her out. She's local, she's very young. She does all Latino stuff. I think she's performing Saturday evening. That's, I think, someone to watch for. So we always show new people. And that's, you know, we have 2 stages that are going, you know, the whole time, so you'll never be bored.
Before we let you go, these altars, obviously each one has a different significance, symbolism. Which one do you think we should be looking out for, that you say you cannot miss it, and really because of the story behind it?
Well, there's 2. There's the one right behind us. Linear High School is doing an altar on the kids who died in Uvalde, and it's a very touching and moving memorial. They built 19 desks, each representing the kid. The students were assigned a person and could find out what they liked, and you see all those signifiers on the desk. So that's a very moving and I think important piece to remember what happened in the year past. But we also have this one woman in terms of, I think she's a chemist. Has no artistic background. She came here every year with her grandmother for 10 years, and her grandmother passed away this last year. And every year she would say, when I pass, you make an altar for me. So this chemist who has no experience doing art, her grandmother passed, and so she decided to build one for her, and it's one of the most amazing pieces. And that's what it is. It's like you see these people who have no artistic background, but come here and decide, how do I solve this problem, this artistic problem, like an artist, and they do it in these really novel, amazing ways. And like I said, they're all stories, and they hang out next to the altar for 2 days, so as people walk by, you engage it. It's public art, but it's public art that's that you literally can talk to the person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jim, thank you very much for being with us this morning on Ksat News Now. We really appreciate all the hard work that you put into this, and like you just mentioned, that Uvalde one, I mean, yeah, seeing these young people doing this for those victims there really really tugs at your heartstrings. Absolutely. So
thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And as Jim said, hey, make sure you come out here and enjoy all the ofrendas, everything that's going to be out here, and of course all the celebration and the live music and food.
And celebration for the culture and heritage. We touched on the music, and we want to introduce you to Los Nahuatlatos, which we've been hearing our producer very excited for this story. Lots of color. But again, just the tapping into the culture and the heritage to let others in who aren't familiar with this tradition and learn more about the sacredness of it.
Absolutely. So we caught up with them. Our producer, super producer, Alicia Medina, got a chance to interview them. They will be hitting the stage here. So let's check out what they had to say about their indigenous roots and what this celebration means to them.
When we step on that stage, in that space, it's a very powerful and spiritual moment.
For Nicolas and Joaquin, Dia de los Muertos isn't a new holiday, but a deep-rooted tradition.
My family has been practicing the indigenous original versions of the Dia de los Muertos since I was born.
And it was always very sacred and ceremonial, very familiar.
Now, they're passing on those traditions through music.
Everybody has a very strong sense of cultural pride, right? You know, we are a band from San Antonio.
Sharing the culture and language, history and pride, that's the mission behind Los Nahuatlatos.
A lot of people have a hard time saying the name Los Nahuatlatos, and that was intentional. With a name like that comes a great responsibility.
Nahuatl was the first language of Mesoamerica. When the conquistadors came to Mexico, those who translated it into Spanish were called Los Nahuatlatos, or the interpreters.
You know, that is the root of what we do.
Honing in on their heritage, the band founded the sound they called Chicano Roots Fusion.
We're like the next generation of musicians listening to that stuff that our parents were listening to.
It's cumbias, it's reggae, it's you know, funk and ska and conjunto.
Growing up in the era of Chicano civil rights leaders, much of their lyrics tell stories of the community.
A lot of our songs, as danceable and celebratory as they are, all have very deep messages.
Messages that help others connect to their culture.
And so we want to take that energy to our audiences and draw that connection. Like, yeah, we're all here to celebrate and have a good time, but there's also something very sacred and very real to this event, and that's the kind of energy that we try to bring to that stage.
All right, and that was Los Nahuatlatos. They will take the stage tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and they will be joined by Barrera Brass, another local jazz band that we've also featured on Ksat News Now.
And Los Nahuatlatos has been part of Muertos Fest for the last 10 years. They're one of the OGs, but there are lots of other amazing acts. Azul will be seeing a lot of her music her beautiful music when we do the special that will air on Sunday.
Right, absolutely. Los Lobos also, and we have a full list right now on Ksat.com and the Ksat app, and you can find more, obviously, the full list of entertainers here on Muertos Fest on their website. But I did want to say something about Los Nahuatlatos there. I remember when we did our previous Day of the Dead coverage, going down to Mexico City and going to visit the pyramids and learning that the indigenous cultures before the Aztecs were there, the Nahuatl people, and really kind of like digging into a lot of that and what it really means now. So to hear these guys really try and represent that in this current day and age, generations after that, it's really something special.
Absolutely. I mean, even when we talk about the Spanish language, a lot of people assume, you know, this Dia de Muertos is so prominent in Mexico. It's not the only country that celebrates it, but even just the Spanish language, right? There's so many other dialects that are present still in Mexico, and it's because of our ancestors. So that's also another cool thing that I've been learning during this preparation for Dia de Muertos.
Yeah, a lot of history that goes into this.
All right, but meanwhile, another band that San Antonio just loves, the San Antonio trio, the Last Bandoleros. They have released already. I was listening to it all morning. Their new album, Tex Flex Folklorico.
Yes, and these guys, Diego and Emilio Navaira Jr., of course, the sons there of the great Emilio Navaira, Tejano legend here. They are
and Jerry Fuentes.
Yeah, Jerry Fuentes as well. Yes, cannot forget him. So I got to do a Zoom interview with them before their appearance on GMA in New York City, and they had just come back from a tour in Germany, and they were super excited because they're getting to play here at home, and it's going to be a pretty special moment for them.
Yeah, so I had a moment to catch up with them as they riff back to Texas this week. They're preparing for tonight's show, and, you know, obviously connected to Dia de Muertos. I asked them how they have celebrated, and they say that usually they're out of town, but they'll be honoring their dad through their music. And one of the songs that they'll be singing tonight at the Tobin Center Riverwalk Plaza will be for their dad. So let's check it out.
Well, absolutely. And as you mentioned, this new album that just dropped right now, Tex Flex Folklorico, a lot of good things going into that. And, you know, these guys, again, representing the city. And I just like the fact when they said about what the sound means, Tex Flex. And,
flexing,
you know, it's
on them.
Yeah, flexing, you know? On them. So
they talk about because they lived in Nashville for a few years, and of course Nashville being really the hub for music, and they say that when they were there, that's really when they realized like how much San Antonio is embedded in them. And they did tell me that one of the things that they want to remind to their fans and to people here in San Antonio is that they were never trying to leave San Antonio or distance themselves from the culture. They love it, and it's embedded through their music, and you'll be able to hear that through this new album.
It's the sound of their musical roots and love for San Antonio.
We kind of developed the sound that we call Tex Flex during 2020 pandemic.
Vamos a Bailar is the bilingual version of their song Every Time We Dance, and the first single off their new album, Tex Flex Folklorico.
The first place we got to go and tour this album was, of all places, Germany. At first we were like, we don't know how this is going to go. And then by the time we finished the tour, we had an entire album that we were able to mix and put together and have it released.
Fans are loving the new sound, the ponchos, mariachi suits, and Spanglish.
We got some chart action on iTunes, which was crazy. We saw that immediately, like chasing Bad Bunny up the Latin charts. It's crazy.
This after they performed on GMA in Times Square for Hispanic Heritage Month.
People are starting to embrace it more, and it feels like our culture's everywhere.
What was your favorite part about being on GMA?
Making Robin Roberts dance. That was my favorite part.
In addition to originals, Tex Flex Folklorico features covers of Los Lobos, Los Panchos, and a song by Emilio and Diego's father, the late Emilio Navaira.
He didn't write too many songs, but it's one of my favorites, and he always opened with it.
Naciste para mí, which translates to You Were Born for Me.
I kind of wanted it to sound what I imagine it sounded like when he wrote it on a guitar. Just very tender and stripped down.
And they'll perform it tonight in front of family, friends, and fans.
You can take the mijos away from the culture, but you can't take the culture out of the mijos.
That's nice.
I think Diego's right.
Yeah.
You can't ever take
Yeah.
the mijo or mija out of anyone.
Absolutely.
It's embedded in you.
Yeah, it goes with them. It travels with them. And I just love the fact that they are so humble. They're so nice and accommodating, right? I mean, when I did that Zoom interview with them, again, they had just gotten back. So, yeah, they are really, really cool guys to get to know.
Yeah, even being in town, you know, I asked them, like, are you all loving being, you know, home with your mom? And they're like, really, you haven't been able to hang out with her too much or with the family because it's been press after press after press. So they've been busy, but all for tonight. So they'll be performing at the Tobin Center Riverwalk Plaza. And this is a special Dia de los Muertos concert, but really also a big celebration for this new album that they just dropped.
And tickets are still available for that show, so if you get an opportunity, if you're still trying to make plans, make sure to check out the Last Bandoleros tonight at the Tobin Center.
You know, with all the noise in the background, you would think that they're trying to tell us to stop. That's not the case. They're just setting up. And there are going to be dozens of vendors out here tomorrow, really this weekend for Muertos Fest. Some of them already, you know, prepping their stands for people to come by. And all these vendors were vetted. And they had to make sure that their collection was related to Dia de Muertos. So this isn't a festival that you're going to come to and find things that aren't related. Like they're truly embedded and they truly mean something to the artists that created these things.
Absolutely. We're talking about Catrinas, flower crowns, of course, jewelry, clothing, anything that's sort of related to Dia de los Muertos. There are going to be a lot of vendors out here, and you can see they put their heart and soul into their work, the craftsmanship. And you got a good opportunity to meet one of them.
A little sneak peek. So one of the vendors that's included in this lineup, her name is Nadia Roman. She's a Mexican-American artist, and she's putting her culture on display through clay art. And this is her first time being a vendor, but she's been to the Muertos Fest for years. So a little bit about her inspiration.
Art, everything that is Latina and Hispanic culture is what drives my business.
It starts with a slab of clay.
It is a bakeable type of clay.
A stamp and clay cutters give shape.
You see you have the shape of the sugar skulls?
Inspired by her Mexican culture,
this business has really brought me back to my roots.
The colorful, intricate details bring the piece to life.
Like with these pieces, all of the detail, I just hand roll all of the petals that you see, and then I bake them.
Nadia Roman is the owner of Designer.
I started August of 2020 on a whim.
More than 2 years later, she's still in business, busier than ever and eager to put her Day of the Dead collection at Muertos Fest.
I want people to look at my work and just be curious as to what the origin is, just be able to identify it when they go to, you know, the Fiesta stores here or HEBs or really anywhere that they're around the world. They can say, hey, I've seen that, I've heard of that before, and it brings you back home to San Antonio.
All right, so I know you don't wear jewelry, but for the ladies, or maybe you want to purchase something for someone, she just has these amazing pieces, and really to watch her create something so quickly. I mean, she's done it hundreds and hundreds of times. That's really special to see. So again, look out for her tomorrow and all the other dozens of vendors that will be out here. But before we leave, we want to leave you with a special treat. So I got a little special private concert, you know, serenaded, if you will, when I was with the Last Bandoleros. And so they played the song for us, Vamos a Bailar, the bilingual version, and it's a lot of fun. But just know that they say shuffle to the left, so we're gonna shuffle to the left, and then they say shuffle to the right. So shuffle when you hear this song. It's one of their, I guess, signature moves, if you will.
Yeah, it's a really, really dope, incredible song. It's really cool stuff there. So we're going to go ahead and leave you with that. But again, thank you very much for being with us on Ksat News Now. We're on the road here for Muertos Fest. Make sure to come out and visit us this weekend, the 10th Muertos Fest. Really cool stuff.
We'll be out here, and if you celebrate this holiday, I hope it's a beautiful, meaningful time, and if not, even a little picture or candle for your loved one, you could join us in the celebration. Y'all have a great weekend.
One, two, hey, what you doing now? I wanna take you out. Stars are shining and my boots are too. You're flex, flex, a polo hat, rim down low. Medianoche, cuando y donde sea, tú te ves tan bella, bajo las estrellas. Suena esta canción y me tomas de la mano, lista para comenzar. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Gría, gría, shuffle to the left, shuffle to the right, shuffle to the left. It makes me feel better. Look at us, we're getting down. Look at us, we're moving now, banging to the beat of the bongo drum. Come on, I can't keep still. You know that I will move a little closer if I get the chance. Medianoche, cuando y donde sea, tú te ves tan bella, bajo las estrellas. Suena esta canción y me tomas de la mano. Quiero hacerlo sin parar. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Cría, cría. Shuffle to the left, shuffle to the right, shuffle to the left. It makes me feel better, and I hope that we stay this way forever. All I know, I don't want this night to end. Oh, junto a ti quiero estar toda la vida. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Cría. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Vamos a bailar, que trae alegría. Cría, cría. Shuffle to the left, shuffle to the right, shuffle to the left. It makes me feel better.
Okay. Tacos.
Taco time.